get started in about 1 to 2 minutes here. Make sure you have your mats ready. Make sure you have your water bottles ready as well. Be able to hydrate during the class. That'll be very important. We'll just give everyone another minute to join us. If you've already joined us, you can simply sit in Sukhasana, easy pose. And just breathe consciously. Bring your awareness to your breath. And just get into the right mental space for today's session. Okay, good morning if you're joining us from Canada or North America, and good afternoon if you're joining me from Europe. My name is Felix. I am the PSP fitness staff located in Belgium, responsible for members that are posted in Western Europe. Thank you so much for joining this weekly yoga class. The intent of this week's session is to bring our focus and attention to our entire core section. This means not only the abdominals and the obliques, but also the lower back and the glute muscles. They're all very important when it comes to stabilizing your trunk and being able to transfer different forces from the lower extremities to the upper extremities. As usual, I am unable to see what you're doing at home virtually because I do not have access to your cameras. So if at any point during today's session you feel any kinds of pain or discomforts, please be mindful of your injuries, whether that's in your knees, in your hips, in your lumbar area, or in your shoulders. If at any point you have any pain, simply come out of the asanas, the poses, and assume a more comfortable position such as child's pose or balasana, or simply a seated position before joining us back for the session. Without further ado, let's get started. So I'd like to invite you all to start with a quick grounding exercise. We're sitting in Sukhasana or easy pose. Feet are crossed, knees are down and relaxed. And the intent here is to have a straight spine. So if you find yourself slouching forward, I would suggest to sit on a bolster. Could be a couch pillow, could be yoga blocks, anything that can help you elevate your hips. And finally, since we are starting our yoga practice together, it's important for us to activate all the postural muscles that will be activated throughout the class and will be needed throughout the class. So the best way I can bring the image in your head is to picture you have a rope from the top of your head and we're pulling that rope up as high as you can. This means chest is up, proud, shoulders are relaxed and away from the ears. The chin is in, and you can keep the eyes open here and simply look down in front of your mat at about maybe 1 meter in front. And finally, the hands can rest on top of the knees in the open receiving position. You can place them in front of your heart in the prayer position, whatever feels good. It's going to allow you to ground yourself. And finally, once you have that position, let's do a few inhales, big deep breaths. In through the nostrils and exhale gently. And as you're breathing here, Make sure your inhale is through the nostrils, 2 to 3 seconds, and you're going to exhale for 4 to 5 seconds. And what this is going to do is that it's going to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is going to help with resting and digestion. So breathe in and gently exhale. Feel yourself grounded on your mat. Feel yourself grounded on the floor. And just before we get going with the warm-up, I invite you all to set an intent for today's practice. This is a core session. Might be intense or difficult. You might feel burning and different sensations throughout the class. So you can find your intent right now, whether that is to be gentle with yourself and not push yourself beyond your limits and simply do what you can, or maybe it's to push a little bit more and hold those poses slightly longer to really get the full impact of each of our asanas. And as you think of your intent, let's start by bringing the right ear to the right shoulder and to the left shoulder. So on your own time, keeping both shoulders low, let's just start with our necks quickly right to left, getting a nice stretch on each side in the trap muscles. And let's bring the neck back. Let's go up, closing the mouth, inhaling and exhaling. Bring the chin down to the chest. On your own pace, doesn't have to match my movement exactly. Just breathe in, up, close the mouth, and exhale back down. Let's do it one more time. Inhale up, and exhale back down. I want to invite you to stretch out the arms on your side. Point the fingertips up towards the ceiling. You're going to inhale, arms up, and exhale, arms back down to parallel. Inhale up, exhale back down. Keep your chin up, chest up. Last one. Inhale up, and exhale all the way back down. You're going to interlace your fingertips together, even the thumbs, and you're just going to give yourself big wrist circles. You can pick one direction, and then you can pick the other direction. We'll be doing lots of planks today, so we're going to need our wrists to be strong and to have stability throughout the session. Finally, remove your fingertips. Let's do big circles. Find one way and slowly keeping your arms straight and locked. Go all the way up, big circles in the wrists, and slowly all the way back down. Let's change directions with the wrist one more time. Inhale. You can look up, big stretch, and exhale. Slowly bring the arms all the way back down, and you can shake it out, shake it out. Let's change position now to a tabletop position. So you can remove your bolster that's behind or your blocks, and let's meet back in the tabletop position. Quick reminder to have your knees under your hips, your hands and your wrists underneath your shoulders. And we're gonna spend a bit of time here warming up the spine and the hips. So you can just start to gently move the hips side to side. Again, this is just our warm-up. We want to spend some time observing, scanning how the body's feeling today. So really be mindful, be introspective, listen to how your knees are doing today, your wrists, your shoulders, your lower back. And a quick reminder that each session might be different for you, and that's okay. You're going to accept what your body can give to you today, and we're going to be grateful for what we're able to complete today. Okay, bring it back to a neutral. We're going to inhale into our cat or into our cow position. So gently looking forward or looking up. You don't need to stress the neck as you're inhaling. And you're going to exhale into your cat position, pushing the ground away, engaging the abdominals. So on your own pace, move through these two different positions, spending time at each range of motion to observe how the spine is doing here, and really try to do this consciously. Don't let your mind drift away thinking about what today holds or what you had for breakfast this morning. Bring the awareness to the muscles in your cow. Feel your lower back contract, stabilize, and be strong. And as you press the ground away into your cat, feel the abdominals contract, kind of like you're doing a sit-up or a crunch. Really holding each position for a few seconds and doing it voluntarily here. Finally, you're going to bring your spine back to a neutral position. And we're going to thread the needle. We'll do twice per side. So let's start with the left arm. We're going to inhale. The left arm reaches up to the sky. Big rotation in the spine. Open up the shoulder. Exhale. Thread the needle. Go as far as you can, keeping the arm straight. Drop the shoulder down. Look up. Exhale. Inhale up and switch sides. Right arm up. Exhale down. One more time each side. Inhale up. Left arm. Exhale down. And final time on the right side. Inhale up. And exhale down. We're meeting back in our tabletop position. We can make sure once again that our wrists are under our shoulders, knees are under our hips, and we're going to transition to our balancing table pose. So we're going to start with the right side, and I want to invite you all to extend the right leg back. And if you have a way, maybe mirrors with you, you can double check that your back leg is straight. And here you're going to make sure you're flexing the foot, so you're pointing the toes down. And we're just going to hold it here just to warm up our right glute. So we have to keep our balance here, which means our core has to be activated. And exhale, bring the knee back down under the hips. You should have about 6 inches between both knees. This time, left leg kicks out. And we're going to hold it here for a few breaths. You want to make sure your back leg is straight, parallel to the ground. The foot is flexed. The toes are pointing down. You should be getting a nice activation in the left glute and the lower back slightly. And I want you to make sure your core is engaged here. And bring the knee back down. Right side one more time. We're going to extend the right leg back. We're going to first keep our balance here. The knee is locked. The toes are pointing down. The glute is activated. And now we're going to extend the left arm out towards the front into a full balancing table pose.
We're just going to hold it here, allowing our bodies to warm up, to find the balance. And I want you to keep pointing those toes down, and I want you to reach with the left arm as far out as you can. Breathing, never holding our breath. In each of the poses today, one thing you want to make sure is you're always breathing. And bring the right knee and the left arm back down. Extend the left leg back. Before we go with the right arm, we're going to make sure left leg is locked, toes are pointing down, and extend the right arm out into a balancing table pose on the right. Again, back leg is straight, toes are pointing down, reach the fingertips of the right hand far forward, stretch, stretch, stretch. Keep bracing your core. We should start to warm up right now. And that's totally fine, that's what we want. One more breath here. And on your exhale, bring the limbs back down. All right. Still in our tabletop position, we're going to transition to our tiger pose. So for the tiger pose, very similar to what we just did, but we're going to walk you through it slowly so we can all do it properly together. Tabletop position. We're going to start on the right side. We're going to keep the right knee bent, and we're going to extend the hip. And lastly, this time the toes aren't pointing down. We're going to point the toes up towards the ceiling. So we only have 3 limbs on the ground. And now we're going to inhale. The left arm reaches up. You're going to inhale up. You're going to exhale. Bring the knee to the elbow. Squeeze the abs. Inhale up. So you're going to reach up with the foot, with the arm as well. Look up or forward. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale up. Exhale down. That's 3. Let's do 2 more here. And every time, try to go a little bit higher up. As our body's nice and warm now, we can try to work on range of motion. Last one. Up, 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 up. Exhale in. Abs are engaged. And bring it back down to your tabletop position. Stay with me here. We're going to get a sip of water just after this side here. So on the left side, keep the left knee bent. Extend the hip first. Make sure your toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. Inhale, right arm reaches forward, reach up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale up. Exhale, elbow to knee. That's 2. Inhale up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale up. Exhale, elbow to knee. The final one, we're nice and warm. Go up as high as you can. Kick that leg up, squeeze the glute, engage the lower back, and exhale, elbow to knee. And bring it down on all 4s. Beautiful. So get yourself maybe just a sip of water, and then we finished our warm-up for our core. And we're gonna get started with our first flow. We're gonna move through this one 3 times, going from our downward facing dog to our plank, down to our cobra. We're gonna do it 3 times, and then we're gonna go into child's pose. So for our first downward facing dog of the day, your hands are about shoulder width apart. I want you to spread your fingertips on your mat. And we're going to meet in our first downward facing dog. Bring the hips up towards the sky. And for this one, it's important that you keep your shoulders low and relaxed. Bring your tailbone up to the sky as much as possible, and your back is straight. So if you're having a hard time with this, don't hesitate to bend the knees so that you can bring your hips up off the ground. And if you're doing great here, you can try to bring your heels down. So for first downward facing dog, you can see how you're feeling. You can walk your dog, 1 and 2. Press the ground away. From your downward facing dog, transition to a plank. So your plank, make sure your wrists are under your shoulders, your feet are about hip width apart, and lastly, you're pressing the ground away, separating the shoulder blades, keeping both shoulders low and away from the ears. And from this one, you got 2 options. Every time you can either do knees down, chin, chest into your cobra, or if you want, you can do your chaturanga dandasana, which is keeping your elbows in, lowering yourself all the way down to the plank, and then we're going to meet up into our first cobra of the day. So for your first cobra, bhujangasana, I want you to keep your hips down, so you're not going up into your full upward facing dog. You're keeping your hip bones on the ground. You can play around with the width of your legs, depending on your back, how it's feeling. You might have more comfort if your legs are a bit wider. And lastly, lower the shoulders down and press the ground away to come up as high as your spine allows you to today, while keeping those hips on the ground. Exhale all the way back down, hands under shoulders, so shoulder width apart, fingertips spread apart. Let's meet up, downward facing dog. Again, bend the knees as much as you need to. Press the ground away, bring your hips up to the sky, your fingertips are spread apart. You can walk your dog, getting a nice big stretch in the posterior chain, hamstrings, calves, Achilles tendons. From downward facing dog, you're going to look down on your mat, transition to your plank pose. 1 big breath here, press the ground away. We're going to go down, again, knees down if you want, chin, chest, or you can do chaturanga dandasana, and we're going to meet up in bhujangasana or cobra. Few breaths here. Press the ground away. You can pick where you want to place your hands. If it's a bit easier, you can place them more in front, or you can keep them underneath your shoulders. This is your practice, and everyone's going to have a different preferred position. So play around with it. Don't be shy. Exhale, bring it all the way back down, and let's do that 1 more time. Hands under shoulders, press up, rocket ship up to your downward facing dog. Bend the knees if you need to. Try to bring your heels down, but you can play around and walk your dog here. From downward facing dog, transition to plank pose, press the ground away, keep the shoulder blades separated. We're going to go down, chaturanga dandasana, slowly lowering yourself down and meeting up into our cobra, bhujangasana. Keep the shoulders low, make sure you're not bringing the shoulders up close to the ears, but they're low. And we're pressing the ground away, strong position here. And on your next exhale, bring yourself back down, hands on your shoulders, and we're going to press to our child's pose for a few breaths here. Ooh. So for child's pose, you can keep your knees together, or you can place them wide, totally up to you. And then for your hands, you can do Uttita Balasana, hands in front. Or if you want, you do the full Balasana, which is hands next to your body. A bit less stretch in your shoulders, allowing yourself to really relax here into your balasana. So let's do a few breaths here. If you want to get some water, now is a good time. If not, stay down in your balasana and just breathe consciously with your diaphragm. So big, deep inhales into the lungs. Feel the stomach grow out, allowing for a deep belly breath. And then gently exhale, 4 to 5 seconds. Okay, so we're going to transition to our second flow. So from your balasana, now that we've rested a bit our abs, shoulders and wrists, we're going to meet back in our downward facing dog. So hands or shoulder width apart. We're going to bring it up to downward facing dog. And we're going to start with the right side. So I invite you all to place your left foot to the middle of your mat. And from downward facing dog, we're going to transition to three-legged dog. So we're going to extend the right foot up as high as you can. Point the toes of the right foot up. Be strong on that side. Inhale. And exhale. Bring the right knee to the right elbow and hover. We're not placing the foot down. Inhale up. Three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to the left elbow. Hover, don't place the foot down. One more time, inhale, three-legged dog. Be strong, squeeze the glute. Exhale, right knee to the right elbow. Inhale up. And place the foot back down. Place the feet hip-width apart. Transition to your plank pose. Bring the elbows in, and we're going to lower ourselves gently all the way down. All the way down. Now we're going to do our half locust pose. So we're going to place both hands next to the body with our palms facing down onto our mats. And you can even place the hands underneath the legs. From this position, our half locust, we're going to inhale, and we're only going to bring the right leg up as high as we can. Okay, so we're going to look down on your mat, and we're going to inhale, and as we lift the right leg off the ground, I want you to press with your hands onto the mat, and lift the right leg, exhale, back down. Inhale, left leg. Press your hands into the mat. Bring that foot up as high as you can. Exhale, down. Inhale, up, right side. Exhale, back down. Inhale, up. Exhale, back down. Final time each side. Inhale, up. Exhale back down and inhale up, left leg only. And exhale back down. Place the hands back underneath your shoulders and inhale up to your downward facing dog. This time, the right foot goes to the middle of your mat. And you're going to kick the left leg up, point the toes up, extend the leg, squeeze the glute on the left. Inhale, exhale, left knee hovering close to your left elbow. You're strong in your plank here. Inhale, kick back, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to right elbow, crossing over, hovering. Be strong in your planks here. Final one, inhale up. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. And inhale up. Place the foot back down. Place your feet hip width apart. Transition to your plank pose. And gently and slowly, elbows in, Chaturanga Dandasana, all the way down to the mat. All done. Extend both arms out in front. We're going to do a variation of our half locust pose. So instead of having your arms down by your side and only lifting the legs, we're now going to do a cross or a division. So left leg with the right arm. As we inhale, we're going to lift both as high as we can, and we're going to exhale back down. So place your forehead on the mat. Get ready. Left leg, right arm. Inhale up. Get your forehead off the mat. Go up as high as you can. Squeeze the left glute. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Left arm. Right leg. And exhale back down. Left leg, right arm up. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Exhale back down. Final time each side. Inhale up. Exhale back down. Final time, right leg, left arm. Inhale up. And exhale back down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and press on back to child's pose. Ooh, a few breaths here. If you want to get some water, get some water. Balasana, child's pose. Focus on resting the entire body. Balasana is a great restorative posture, or we can stretch out the lower back and the upper back and focus on our breath. Okay, so get slowly out of your Balasana. Place your hands one more time, shoulder width apart. We're meeting back up into our downward facing dog position. Place your left foot in the middle of your mat, and we're going to inhale the right leg up into your three-legged dog. Big inhale. Exhale, right knee to your right elbow. Stay with me here, don't rush it. Inhale up. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Be strong. Inhale up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. We're going to keep going a few more times. Inhale up. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. We're going to hover here. And hovering, bring your right knee to your right elbow. Hover, hold, stay with me. Right knee, left elbow. One more time. To the right elbow. Stay with me here. Feel the abs burn. Inhale up. Exhale, place the foot down, transition to your plank pose. Be strong here. Bring your elbows in. And we're gonna lower Chaturanga Dandasana. 3, 2, 1, all the way down. Beautiful. We're gonna do full locust, Shalabalasana. So for this one, I invite you to bring the arms next to your side. And we have 2 options here. Either we go up and we hold it here kind of like an airplane, or if you have the shoulder mobility, you can interlace your fingers behind your back, retract the shoulder blade down, and we're going to go up into this version of Shalabalasana. So whether you have your arm next to your side or interlaced, up to you. We're going to go inhale up. Bring your legs and your upper body up off the ground as high as you can. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Exhale back down. Final one, we're going to hold it at the top for a few breaths. So you can breathe through the position. Inhale up. And here we're going to hold it. And we're going to breathe through it. And really try to get your legs off the ground and your chest off the ground as much as you can. One more deep breath. And exhale all the way back down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Kick up to downward facing dog. This time, place the right foot in the middle of your mat, and you're going to kick up the left leg into your 3-legged dog. Point the toes, reach that left leg up, squeeze the left glute. Inhale and exhale. Bring your left knee to your left elbow. Don't rush it here. Stay with me. Be patient. Inhale up. Exhale. Left knee, right elbow. As close as you can. Just hovering. Being strong in your core. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale. Left knee, left elbow. Final time, inhale up, and you're going to exhale to the right elbow, and we're going to transition to the left elbow. Be strong in the back leg. Right elbow, stay with me, be strong if you can. And left elbow, final time, inhale up, and exhale, place the foot down into your plank pose. Hands underneath your shoulders, elbows in, and we're going to lower gently. 3, 2, 1, all the way down to the floor. Well done. Okay, for our extended position here, we're going to complete the bow. So to go into our bow position, it's a bit more advanced technique. So if you can do the bow, and if not, you can just go back to our full locust, where you're going to go up and you're going to hold. For the bow, we're going to bend both knees back to a 90-degree angle, and we're going to grab our ankles on both sides here, with your knees about shoulder width apart. On the inhale, we're going to come up, all the way up, and as we go up, we're pressing our legs away, and of course our hands are holding onto our legs, so it's going to allow us to come up off the ground. And again, if you can do the bow, you're staying full locust, so looking forward, grabbing opposite ankles here. We're going to inhale into our first bow. So go up, inhale up, press the ground away, and exhale back down. Do a few times here. Inhale up. Fill your belly, push the legs away, look forward, exhale back down. Inhale up. Exhale back down. And for a final one, we're going to hold it at the top for a few breaths. And I want you to see how high you can get your chest and your knees off the ground. So we're going to inhale all together up. And here, breathe normally. Keep on pressing the legs away. Bringing the shoulder blades close together, lowering the shoulders. Feel the belly. Come up as high as you can. Press, press. Lift the legs. Lift the knees. Full bow. And exhale back down. Release the feet back down to the floor. Place the hands underneath the shoulders. And let's press on back to Balasana, our counter position, to our extended bow. In a nice flexed lumbar position. Ooh, well done. That was not easy, a different position today for a session. I know I'm sweating over here at home. I'm not sure if it's the heat or if it's today's yoga class. Probably a bit of mix of both. So grab some water, enjoy your lower back stretch in Balasana. Restore the breath, allow a nice relaxation of the wrists and shoulder and core muscles here. And remind yourself how grateful you are that your body is strong and it's mobile enough to do these positions. Whew. Just keep breathing before we start our fourth and final flow here. Really breathe. Remember breathing with the diaphragm. Feeling the air come into the nostrils. Filling the lungs, pushing the belly. If you're in Balasana with your knees together, you should be able to feel the stomach actually pressing out onto the knees. In the inhales, so if you're not sure if you're breathing properly, deep belly breaths, or if it's short and shallow chest breaths, I invite you to bring your knees together into Balasana. So place the hands back down to your side. Breathe deep. Feel the stomach press out against your thighs, filling up like a balloon. And on the exhale, gently exhale. And really bring the awareness to the stomach pressing out and gently coming back down. Okay, you can gently come out of your Balasana. We're going to do our final flow together. So we're going to find a seated position here with both my legs extended out in front of me. And we're going to do the boat pose. So really great pose for the abdominals and our hip flexors here. We're going to show a couple of different variations, and you can choose the variation of your choice. And we're going to do 3 times the boat pose. So if you want to start with the first variation and then move on to the second and third, I invite you to do so as well. So for our first boat pose, we're going to first of all sit up. No slouching, chest down, shoulders forward. Chest up, shoulders down and back. We're going to place both our hands underneath our legs where our hamstrings are. And now for the first one, we're just going to lean back. If you want, you can place one leg up. And if you want, you can place both legs up. And once you have 1, 2, or none legs up, you're going to keep the shins parallel to the ground, and you're going to extend the arms forward into your boat pose. Remember, in yoga, you have to find balance in your poses. So stillness and stability. Try not to move, but try to hold it. And you gotta find pleasure in these poses. Maybe not always easy, but if you breathe through it and you tell yourself, I am strong, I am capable, then you'll be able to find the pleasure in those as well, because you're strong enough to do this. That's positive. Okay, and to transition out of this, we're slowly going to extend the legs out, lowering ourselves slowly into our hollow hold and relaxing all the way down. Bring your right knee up into your chest, interlace the fingers, pull on that right knee as high up as you can, keeping the left leg out in front of you. And you're going to inhale, bring your forehead to your knee into the wind release pose. Let's do a few breaths here. Keep the left leg on the ground, making sure your knee doesn't come off the ground. Fully on the ground. Bring your forehead to your right knee as close as you can. Bring the head all the way back down, keeping your right knee over top of your right hip. Extend the right arm out in a Y position. So T is in line with your shoulder, Y, I. Find the Y. You're going to look towards your right arm, and you're going to drop the right leg over towards the left. Doing a nice supine twist. If you want to support your right knee, you can definitely bring the left knee underneath the right knee. If you have a bolster, you can use that. Keep looking over to your right. You can even move gently the right arm up or down. And try to see if you can get a better stretch in the chest depending on the angle. And just focus on the breath, lengthening the exhale throughout. Place the arm back to the T position. You can look up and bring both knees up into your chest. First one, we're just going to place our hands on our knees and just gently pull the knees towards your chest. You can just rock side to side, enjoying a lower back stretch here. Massaging your lower back. Okay, you're going to extend the legs out in front of you, and we're going to come up to our second boat pose. So, second boat pose, both hands next to your hamstrings. Start to lean back, and then when you're ready, you're going to either keep both legs down, one leg up, or you're going to bring both legs up. And once you have this, you're going to extend the arms out forward. If you can also extend the legs straight, depending on your hamstring flexibility. But here, keep your chest up, chin up, shins are parallel to the ground, and you're finding your stillness, engaging your abdominals, engaging the lower back. Find the stillness in the pose, gaze towards the front. Be strong in your position here, and you should feel the nice burn in the abs or in the hip flexors in front of the hips, but just be strong here. If it's shaking, it's normal as well. And we're slowly going to extend the legs out and keep the abs tight, tight, tight into our hollow position. and release all the way down to the ground. This time, bring the left knee up, interlace the fingers, bring the knee as close as you can up, keeping the right leg this time extended on the ground. And we're going to inhale, bring your forehead to our knee. Another few breaths here into the wind releasing pose on the left. On your next exhale, drop the head. You're going to extend the left arm over towards the left in a wide position. Look to your left arm and drop the left knee over towards the right on your next exhale. Again, this time if you want to support the top knee, you can bring the lower knee just underneath, or you can place a bolster or a block underneath your knee. So keep gazing over towards the left. You can move the left arm up and down, finding the right angle to get a nice stretch in your chest. Once you have the position, find the stillness, find your breath. Okay, and bring the arm back to a T position. Bring both knees up into a supine knee hug. This time, try to place the inside of the elbows against the knees. You can grab opposite elbows and bring your forehead in to your knees. Try to be as small as you can. And again, you can gently rock side to side. And extend the legs out. Come up. We're going to do our final boat pose. Final active pose of the day. So here, if you want to try to have both feet up, and we're going to try as well to extend one leg at a time and then both if we can. All depends on your hamstring flexibility. I know I'm going to struggle with this one. That's totally fine. So let's grab our hamstrings. Let's lean back slightly. Chin up, chest up. Activate your postural muscles. We're going to bring both legs up so that the shins are parallel to the ground. This time, point the toes forward if you can. We're going to extend both arms out in front into our boat pose. And now let's try to extend the right leg out. If it shakes, it's okay. Bend the right leg. Try to extend the left leg out as high up as you can. Ooh, bring them back. And for the final couple of breaths here, do the boat pose that is difficult for you. So if you want and you can, try to extend both legs out towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Lower down gently, gently, gently. And come all the way back down to your mats. Ooh, well done. From your supine position, you're going to bring both knees in. Spread the knees apart first. Place both hands inside, grabbing the outside of the feet. And let's extend both legs out towards the ceiling into our happy baby pose. So now done the intense and difficult asanas or postures of the day. You can close the eyes now. Bring the awareness back to your breath. Find the stillness in the pose. Extend the legs out towards the ceiling, opening up the hips, lengthening the hamstrings. And just breathe normally here, whatever your body would like to do. Now that we're starting to cool down, you can bring your awareness or think back to your intent that you had at the beginning of the class and see if you were able to stay true to your intent. If you were, that's good. If you were not, that's also okay. No judgment here, just the awareness. Okay, and release the legs, and you're going to place the soles of the feet together into your reclined butterfly or reclined bound angle pose. Soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to come down. If you have any pain in the hips, you can support the knees with maybe a block or a bolster on each side. Keep the heels as close as you can to your hips. And just allow the weight of gravity to gently open up the hips. You can place the palms up towards the sky. You can close the eyes. And remember here to lengthen the exhale about 4 to 5 seconds. Stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. For final asana of the day, you're going to extend both legs to the edges of your mat. Find your shavasana or corpse pose position, placing the palms up towards the sky. And we're going to bring your awareness back inside into the final asana of the day. Close the eyes. You can turn the lights off maybe. Try and have a calm and restorative environment after today's session. And for this final pose, just breathe normally in through the nostrils. Can out by the nostrils as well. Trying to breathe as quietly as possible. Today's session required lots of activation from our upper body, our core, and our lower body. Lots of burning sensation. Lots of activity. So now we're going to bring it all the way back down. We're going to try and relax and release all 600 and more muscles of our body. Starting from our forehead down to your cheeks and your jaw. Feel the face completely relaxed. Scanning and moving down to our shoulders, our arms, and our forearms. Find
complete stillness inside those muscles and those joints. And notice the release of any kinds of activation and stress. Moving on to your chest and abdominals are relaxed. And finally your hips, legs, knees are all relaxed. Your calves are relaxed. And finally your ankles and toes and feet are all relaxed. So the only movement that we should be able to see is the gentle rising and lowering of the stomach as you breathe in and out, kind of like the waves of the ocean. And before we start to bring some movement back into the body, notice the sense of calm and relaxation and peace that you're experiencing physically, mentally, emotionally, and maybe even spiritually. Find yourself and remember this nice calming feeling throughout the rest of your day. Try to bring a piece of it with you. It's going to help you throughout the rest of your day. I invite you to bring some movements back into the fingertips and the toes, wiggling them. And now moving the wrists and the ankles into some circles, externalizing your awareness. And now bring both knees into your chest. And you can let the knees fall to either the right or to the left side. And from this supine twist, you can use your hands to bring you up to meet us back into a first asana of the day, into your Sukhasana or easy pose. Place your palms together, hands to heart. Big inhale, everyone together. And slowly exhale. Thank you so much for joining your weekly Yoga with Felix class. I hope you all enjoyed today's core focus session, and I wish you all a wonderful Tuesday, either morning or afternoon. Namaste.